Hi, we're Andy and Shell from Fairway Cruising and Travel, and this video is about a recent trip we did to Fiji. We stayed at the Shangri-La for 3 nights and then Plantation Island for 3 nights, and we're going to showcase that to you. Quick tour and some of the rooms. Cheers.
Hola!
into the room, we've got it set up as 2 separate beds. Coming in, you'll see that there's power points here. They've got a wireless charger here for your phone, which is really handy. Over here, there's a sofa bed, table, another desk here. And with the desk, there are 2 power outlets and USB ports as well here. In the drawer, we've been gifted with a little sewing kit. The bluebirds we brought with us, they don't come with the room. There's a TV, remote control, and across here a little bar setup. And within that you will also have a fridge. And that fridge, is relatively decent size. It does have a small ice cube tray. In the drawer here is tea and coffee, etc. and creamer looks like. In the cupboard here is an iron and an ironing board, which is really helpful to have there. And in the robes, we have robes in the robes. There's a few coat hangers here, not heaps, but enough. And there's also an umbrella and some slippers. And then moving into the bathroom, have the toilet, a shower with a clothesline that goes across, which is handy. There's 3 little bottles of stuff here, so let's have a look what they are. We have gel, conditioner, and shampoo, which is something I always like to see. Shampoo and conditioner separate, not as a 2-in-1. And over here we have soap, and we also have some extra conditioner, looks like it, as well as toothbrushes, toothpaste, cotton buds, shower cap. There's tissues, nice fluffy towels. And in here, if I open that up, is where we'll find our hairdryer, which is a handheld hairdryer, which is nice, not one of those ones that are mounted on the wall, as well as a safe. And yeah, so that is a room tour of room 933. Okay, so next part of our journey, we're heading off to Plantation Island on the Malola ferry. We've arrived at Plantation Island. Home for the next few days. Being greeted. Hola! Okay, we've arrived at Plantation Island and our room is a beachfront bure. So as you can see, we are beachfront. It's a shame because the weather's just turned overcast today, but you can see how close we are, which is lovely. So let's have a look in. Now this bure, which is room 215, is a 2-bedroom bure. So here we go. So it's made of stone, not you know, thatching or anything like that. The outer walls. So we have 2 beds here. I'm presuming that they may even convert to a sofa, but I haven't confirmed that. But you could certainly use them as a single bed if you wanted to. Telephone over there. Now I'm noting that there isn't any Wi-Fi down in the rooms. You are provided with a couple of umbrellas, which we are certainly going to need over the next couple of days if this keeps up. Also, there's a bar fridge, and in the bar fridge are some glasses, and they provide you with some bottled water, which they'll give you every day. Kettle, and cups, etc. Tea, coffee and creamer. There's ceiling fan up here. Some vents here. The room is air conditioned, which is great. So we've got a Bulla welcome home, which is rather pretty. Air conditioning on up here. As I said, ceiling fan. Have a wardrobe. I'll have to see where the safe is. I'll check that out. I'm sure that there will be one. This is the second bedroom. Here, once again, there's drawers. And there is a wardrobe and ceiling fan. You can hear the wind rustling. Coat hangers. Blankets should you need extra warmth. And in this room, let's check this wardrobe out as well. So, coat hangers. In this room is also a safe and some blankets, extra pillow. Oh, there's more coat hangers there. There is a square cut out of the room there, so it's not really noise between two rooms. You can hear between the rooms, obviously. Just putting that out there. Power points, light switches on both sides of the bed, remote control. Some beach towels are provided. And then going into the bathroom, I have toilet, vanity, hairdryer, which is attached to the wall, towels, your shower here. As you can see, you're provided body wash, shampoo and conditioner, which is separate. People watching my videos, you'll know I always like that. Loads of toilet paper. And yeah, so that is a tour of a beachfront bure 215 at Plantation Island Resort. Now, just hoping that the weather will improve and we'll get some sunny days ahead. Cheers. would come and use these ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the Coral restaurant the first night, and then we went down to Tavola. Did I say that right? Yeah, last night for dinner.
How was the whole?
Beautiful as well. Yeah. example, there's activities where you can book tours, etc. Along here, there is a beer, wine and spirits, should you want to buy your own alcohol. Beer, wine and spirits, should you want to buy your own alcohol. Then they also have, still waving. And then along here is like a general store, so you can buy lollies and chocolates and goggles and all sorts of different things. There's clothing, she can't hear me, water, water here, thongs, fridge magnets, lots of different things here. There's some chippies. There's also another shack here called the Beach Shack where you can buy togs and clothing and dresses, etc. There's a medical centre which is really handy. So, Tropical Trader it's called. Another thing here is there is a ice cream shop, milk bar. Another facility they have. Hola! You're on video! Another facility they have here, which I'm coming up to, is also a laundry or a laundromat. So you can come in here. Shock horror, have to do your washing and ironing, but you know, it's available. They have boards around the resort telling you all the different activities, etc., that are available on the different days. So last night we watched the Polynesian fire dance and the bring and bar bula time, which is all a bit of fun. Going along here, this is another area where you can get your water sports kind of gear. So there's kayaking, there's supping, all different water sports that you can engage in, snorkeling. They have vests and so forth, which is really cool. And then here is a snack bar. So if you want to come for lunch, you can go to this snack bar and you can get pizza, chips, toasted sandwiches, different types of food. That's over there. Bula. Here's a volleyball court set up. And now I'm going to walk us back to our room. So as you can see, the resort is large. Lots of different rooms. Oh, there's a spa here. Over there, there's lots of different rooms set out and away from each other. Yeah, so there's space. You're not necessarily all on top of each other. So that is my quick tour of Plantation Island. I haven't shown you the golf course because I haven't found it yet. And I haven't shown the convention centre and a couple of the restaurants, but we'll see if I can do that before the day's end. Cheers. Well, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed our tours of Shangri-La and Plantation Island, and stay tuned. Make sure you follow the like and subscribe button because we've got heaps of other hotels and resorts and destinations and cruising all around the world that we have travelled and are still travelling to. Cheers.